You might notice it when a moment of genuine quiet settles over your life. Maybe the chaos of a busy week finally recedes, or a difficult conversation finds its resolution, or perhaps a long-sought goal is finally achieved. For others, this stillness might feel like a sigh, a release, a gentle invitation to simply be. But for you, something else happens. A faint alarm begins to hum beneath the surface of your awareness. It's not a dramatic panic, not a sudden terror, but a creeping sense of unease. A subtle tightening in the chest, perhaps, or a shallowing of breath that you barely register. It might manifest as a sudden, inexplicable urge to check your phone, to scroll through something, anything, to fill the void, or a restless impulse to create a new problem, to stir the pot just a little, to find something to do, because this quiet, this peace, it feels precarious, feels like a trick. You might find yourself scanning the horizon, both literally and figuratively, for the inevitable disruption. You anticipate the shoe dropping. You prepare for the other shoe to drop. The silence itself becomes a kind of noise, a low thrumming of vigilance, a constant internal question mark hovering over the placid surface of your world. Is this real? How long will it last? What am I missing? What danger is lurking just beyond the edge of this fragile calm? It's a peculiar kind of discomfort, isn't it? An internal protest against the very thing so many people strive for. And in those moments, you might even feel a flicker of shame, a quiet judgment of yourself. Why can't I just relax? Why can't I just enjoy this? Why does ease feel so wrong? From the outside, the world often has its own way of interpreting this. People might observe your restlessness, your inability to settle, your tendency to gravitate towards challenge even when it seems unnecessary, and they might offer well-meaning but ultimately hollow advice. They might tell you to just let go, as if letting go were a simple switch you could flip. They might suggest you choose happiness, as if your experience were a deliberate act of defiance against inner peace. Sometimes the labels arrive softly at first, then more insistently. You're a drama queen, someone might say, or you thrive on chaos. Perhaps you sabotage yourself. When you find yourself creating complications in what should be a smooth path, or even, you're ungrateful. When you can't seem to fully inhabit the good fortune that has come your way. These words, whether spoken aloud or merely implied, can sting because they feel like an accusation, a judgment of a choice you never consciously made. They miss the intricate, deeply wired truth of what is happening inside you. They don't see the silent, relentless work your nervous system is doing. They don't understand that for you, peace isn't just a lack of conflict. It's an unfamiliar landscape, a territory that your internal maps haven't learned to navigate as safe. And what is unfamiliar to a brain wired for survival is often interpreted as dangerous. What your brain is doing, in these moments when peace feels dangerous, is something profoundly ancient and deeply ingrained. It is hiding from you the truth of its own history, the story of how it learned to protect you, a story so successful it became your operating system. It's not that you are broken or resistant to joy, it is that your very capacity for peace has been carefully, painstakingly rewired by experience. For many of us, the brain is an extraordinary predictive engine. Its primary job, moment to moment, is to anticipate what comes next, to minimize surprise, and to keep us safe. It does this by constantly sampling the world around us and the world within us, comparing present sensations to past experiences, building a vast library of what-ifs and if-then scenarios. When a pattern of threat or instability has been a consistent feature of your life, especially early on, your brain doesn't simply remember that pattern. It becomes that pattern. It learns to expect the other shoe. It learns that calm is merely the quiet before the storm. Consider the intricate dance of your neurochemistry. When you are in a state of perceived threat, even a subtle one, your body releases a symphony of stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, preparing you for action, sharpening your senses, increasing your heart rate. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm bell, becomes highly sensitized, quick to sound the alert at the faintest whisper of danger. This is a brilliant survival mechanism. But when this state of heightened arousal becomes your baseline, your nervous system's normal, then the absence of those familiar signals of stress can paradoxically trigger a new kind of alarm. It's akin to a fire alarm that has been ringing for so long that its absence, the sudden silence, feels more unsettling than the blare itself. Your brain, accustomed to the constant hum of vigilance, interprets the quiet as a lack of information, a gap in its predictive model, and thus a potential threat. What isn't being detected? What danger is now invisible? This isn't a conscious choice. It's the deep, automatic machinery of your nervous system doing what it was trained to do: keep you alive. This training often begins in the soft, formative years of childhood, long before you had the words to understand it. Imagine a world where the ground beneath your feet was constantly shifting. Perhaps the adults around you were unpredictable, their moods swinging like pendulums, their presence inconsistent, their responses to your needs varying wildly from moment to moment. One day, comfort; the next, indifference or even anger. Or perhaps the environment itself was unstable, filled with loud noises, sudden changes, or a pervasive underlying tension that was felt but never spoken. In such a world, a child's nervous system, brilliant in its adaptability, learns to become a highly sophisticated warning system. It learns that peace is fleeting, that stability is an illusion, that true safety lies not in relaxation, but in constant watchfulness. The child learns that to let down their guard is to invite surprise, and surprise, in an unpredictable environment, is often synonymous with pain or neglect. So, the child develops a powerful internal radar, scanning for the slightest shift in emotional weather, the subtlest change in tone, the merest hint of trouble. This hypervigilance isn't a flaw. It's a profound act of self-preservation, a deeply intelligent adaptation forged in the crucible of necessity. This adaptation becomes an integral part of your being. It shapes your attachment patterns, influencing how you relate to intimacy and closeness. If connection has historically come with a side of unpredictability or pain, then the very act of leaning into peace within a relationship might trigger that familiar alarm. This feels too good, the nervous system whispers. It won't last. Prepare for the withdrawal, the disappointment, the inevitable shift. It's not that you don't desire connection or peace. It's that your foundational programming has created a deeply etched pathway that equates safety with a certain level of tension, a certain readiness for departure. This isn't something you chose, nor is it something you are doing wrong. It is simply how your unique human system learned to navigate a world that, at some point, felt anything but safe. Your nervous system didn't get a manual for a perfectly consistent, always safe environment. It got a crash course in survival, and it excelled. The very strategies that allowed you to endure, to adapt, to become the resilient person you are today, are the same strategies that now make deep, sustained peace feel like an alien, unsettling experience. Consider this not as a deficit, but as a distinct way of being, one forged in extraordinary circumstances. Compare it, perhaps, to someone whose nervous system was calibrated in an environment of consistent, predictable safety. For them, peace is the default, the comfortable hum of home. For you, the default is a different kind of hum, a background static of readiness. Neither is inherently better or worse. They are simply different maps of the world, drawn from different experiences. The cost of this constant vigilance is undeniable. It can manifest as chronic fatigue, as difficulty sleeping, as a persistent sense of being on edge, even when objectively everything is calm. It can make true intimacy challenging, as vulnerability feels like an invitation for harm. It can lead to a relentless internal drive, a feeling that you must always be striving, always achieving, always proving your worth, because to stop, to simply be, feels like letting go of the reins, like inviting the unknown. And the unknown, to a nervous system wired for threat, is the ultimate danger. But within this intricate pattern lies a paradox, a hidden strength you might not have fully recognized. Your sensitivity, born from that vigilant radar, can be a profound gift. You likely possess an extraordinary capacity to read between the lines, to sense unspoken emotions, to anticipate needs, to perceive nuances that others miss entirely. This same hypervigilance, while exhausting, often translates into an acute awareness, a deep empathy for others who might be struggling, because you are finely tuned to the subtle signals of distress. You have a unique ability to navigate complexity, to find solutions where others see only impasses, because your mind has been trained to look for patterns, to anticipate problems, to analyze and strategize even when the path is unclear. This isn't just about survival. It's about a highly developed observational skill, a deep well of intuition born from constantly scanning the environment for cues. You are, in many ways, an expert at reading the invisible scripts of human interaction and environmental dynamics. The quieter cost, the layer you might not have expected, is the way this pattern can become intertwined with your very sense of identity. If your narrative has always been one of overcoming, of navigating challenges, of being the one who handles it, then the arrival of genuine peace can feel like a loss of self. Who are you, if not the person constantly vigilant, constantly striving, constantly bracing for impact? There can be a quiet, almost imperceptible fear of dissolving, of losing that familiar, albeit exhausting, sense of purpose that comes with always being on guard. Your resilience, your strength, your capacity to endure, these are undeniable, and they are woven into the fabric of your being. But when peace arrives, it asks you to set down those tools even for a moment, and that can feel like setting down a part of who you are. Perhaps it's not about fixing something that is broken, but about understanding something that is profoundly functional, even if its function now causes discomfort in a different context. It's about recognizing the intricate, intelligent design of your own history and seeing how your nervous system, with all its protective wisdom, has brought you to this very moment. You are not broken for feeling this way. You are not wrong for finding peace unsettling. Your experience makes sense. It is a testament to the remarkable adaptability of the human spirit, a quiet echo of the journey you have walked. And perhaps, with this understanding, a different kind of quiet can begin to settle in. Not the quiet that signals danger, but the quiet that holds compassion. The quiet that acknowledges the weary traveler, the vigilant guard, and gently invites them to rest. This journey of understanding yourself, of gently unearthing the wisdom of your own nervous system, is not a race. It is a slow, unfolding conversation, a delicate process of recalibration. There is no rush. There is only the invitation to listen a little more closely, to feel a little more deeply, to understand a little more completely the extraordinary truth of who you are. This is just the beginning of that knowing. The knowing I speak of is not merely intellectual. It is a knowing that permeates your bones, a wisdom that breathes in your very cells. It is the profound recognition that you are not broken, but exquisitely designed for survival and now, for thriving. This deep knowing invites you to become an archaeologist of your own inner landscape, to gently unearth the layers of protection and adaptation that have shaped you. It asks you to observe, without judgment, the subtle shifts in your internal weather, the gentle currents of sensation, the sudden squalls of emotion. Imagine your nervous system as a magnificent, intricate orchestra, capable of playing a vast repertoire. For a long time, perhaps, it has been primarily playing dramatic, urgent symphonies, the crescendo of hypervigilance, the discordant notes of fear, the heavy silence of withdrawal. Each section of this orchestra, the strings of your heart rate, the percussion of your breath, the woodwinds of your muscle tension, has been finely tuned to respond to perceived threats. And it performed its role brilliantly, kept you safe. But now, with a deeper understanding, you have the opportunity to introduce new melodies, to explore different harmonies, to allow for moments of quietude and spaciousness. This process begins with awareness. It is an invitation to notice the whisper of your body before it shouts, to feel the subtle tightening in your jaw, the slight clenching in your stomach, the shallowing of your breath. These are not just random physical sensations. They are messengers, signals from your nervous system, letting you know which state it believes you are in. Are you in the state of alert engagement, ready to connect and create? This is often felt as a sense of calm alertness, a gentle hum of aliveness, a warmth in your chest, an openness in your gaze. Or are you in the state of fight or flight, where energy surges, muscles brace, and thoughts race? This might manifest as restlessness, irritability, a pounding heart, a frantic mind. Or perhaps you've slipped into the state of freeze or shutdown, where energy drains, limbs feel heavy, thoughts become foggy, and a sense of detachment descends. This can feel like numbness, exhaustion, a desire to disappear, a profound sense of resignation. None of these states are inherently bad. They are simply different modes of operation, each designed for a specific purpose. The challenge and the opportunity lies in learning to recognize them as they arise, and then gently, compassionately, guiding your system towards a sense of safety and regulation when the perceived threat has passed. Think of it like learning to sail. You don't curse the wind when it blows too hard, nor do you condemn the calm when the sails hang limp. Instead, you learn to read the currents, to adjust your sails, to steer the rudder with skillful hands. You learn to work with the elements, not against them. Similarly, you learn to work with your nervous system, understanding its powerful instincts, and gradually, through small, consistent efforts, teaching it that it is safe to unfurl its sails and glide, even when the waters were once turbulent. One of the most powerful tools in this recalibration is your breath. It is an anchor, a direct pathway to influencing your internal state. When you are feeling activated, perhaps a surge of anxiety, a wave of anger, your breath tends to be shallow, rapid, held high in your chest. When you are feeling shut down, perhaps numb, detached, heavy, your breath might be almost imperceptible, very shallow or held. When you are feeling settled, connected, and safe, your breath tends to be deeper, slower, flowing into your belly, a gentle rhythmic tide. You don't need to force your breath. Forcing can often trigger more resistance. Instead, simply invite curiosity. Notice your breath. Where do you feel it most? Is it short? Is it ragged? Is it barely there? And then, perhaps, just perhaps, invite a slightly longer exhale. A gentle, drawn-out exhale sends a signal to your vagus nerve, a major pathway of your nervous system, that it is okay to relax. It's a subtle cue, a quiet whisper that says, the immediate danger has passed. You can soften now. Try it now if you feel comfortable. Just a slow, soft, gentle outbreath, and then allow the inhale to come naturally, effortlessly. Repeat this a few times. Don't strive for perfection. Simply explore the sensation of a slightly longer exhale, and notice what shifts, however subtle, within you. This is not about erasing difficult feelings or overriding your body's wisdom. It is about creating capacity. It's about expanding your window of tolerance, so that you can experience the inevitable ups and downs of life without being overwhelmed or completely shut down. It's about learning to hold complex emotions with a sense of internal spaciousness, rather than being engulfed by them. Another vital aspect of this journey is the cultivation of resources. Resources are anything that helps your nervous system feel safer, more grounded, more regulated. These are not grand, dramatic interventions, but often small, consistent practices. They can be external. The warmth of a blanket, the scent of a comforting aroma, the sound of gentle music, the feeling of your feet on the earth, the sight of a beloved pet, the presence of a trusted friend. They can also be internal. A cherished memory, an image of a peaceful place, the sensation of your own hand resting on your heart, the rhythm of a mantra, the quiet strength you know resides within you. The key is to consciously identify and then turn towards these resources, especially when you feel your system beginning to tip into distress. It's like having a well-stocked toolkit. When you notice the first signs of overwhelm, instead of spiraling, you pause and ask yourself, what can I offer myself right now that might bring a sense of ease or grounding? Perhaps it's standing up and stretching, feeling the solidity of the floor beneath your feet. Perhaps it's stepping outside for a moment and feeling the sun on your skin. Perhaps it's simply reaching for a glass of water and mindfully drinking it, feeling the coolness as it travels down your throat. Each small act of intentional self-resourcing is a deposit in your well-being bank, building resilience one gentle moment at a time. This journey is also deeply somatic, meaning it involves the body. For many, especially those who have experienced trauma or prolonged stress, there can be a disconnect from the body. The body may have been a place of pain, fear, or betrayal, and the mind learned to dissociate, to float above the sensations, to numb out. But the body is also where healing resides. It holds the memories, yes, but it also holds the innate capacity for repair and regulation. Reconnecting with your body is a gradual, tender process. It's not about forcing yourself to feel everything all at once. It's about titration, approaching sensation in small, manageable doses. It might start with simply noticing your hands. What do they feel like right now? Warm or cool? Tingly or solid? Do you feel the fabric of your clothes against your skin? Can you sense the weight of your body in the chair, or the gentle pressure of your feet on the ground? These simple acts of mindful presence, even for a few seconds, begin to reestablish a sense of safe inhabitation within your own form. They signal to your nervous system that it is safe to be present, safe to feel, safe to experience the world through your senses once more. And as you begin to gently re-inhabit your body, you might notice sensations that were previously suppressed or ignored. Old fears, anxieties, or even sadness might surface. This is not a regression. It is a sign that your system is beginning to thaw, to release what it has held onto for so long. When these intense sensations arise, the practice is not to push them away, nor to become overwhelmed by them, but to hold them with compassionate curiosity. Can you breathe with the sensation? Can you offer it a sense of spaciousness? Can you imagine it as a wave that will crest and eventually subside, rather than a permanent state? This is where the concept of pendulation becomes incredibly valuable. Pendulation, a term often used in trauma healing, describes the natural rhythmic movement between states of activation and states of calm. Imagine a pendulum swinging. It swings one way, then the other, but always returns to the center. In your own experience, this means allowing yourself to feel a challenging sensation or emotion, even for a brief moment, and then consciously pendulating back to a resource, to a place of felt safety or calm. You might feel a knot of anxiety in your stomach. Acknowledge it, breathe with it for a moment, and then consciously shift your attention to the feeling of your feet on the floor, or the gentle warmth of your hand on your belly. This back and forth movement, even in microdoses, helps your nervous system learn that it has the capacity to move through difficult states and return to regulation. It builds confidence in your ability to self-regulate, slowly expanding your window of tolerance. This process is not linear. There will be days when it feels effortless, and days when it feels like you've taken 10 steps backward. This is not a failure. It is simply the nature of healing, the natural rhythm of integration. Think of it like learning a new skill, a musical instrument, a new language. You have days of fluency and days of stumbling. The key is persistence, gentle persistence, and unwavering self-compassion. When you stumble, when you feel overwhelmed, when you revert to old patterns, meet yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. This is not a race, nor is there a finish line where all challenges disappear forever. Instead, it is a lifelong journey of deepening self-intimacy, of continuously learning how to navigate the complex, beautiful terrain of your own inner world. The vigilant guard within you, the part that has been so attuned to danger, may resist this softening. It has done its job impeccably, and it may fear that letting down its guard will make you vulnerable. This is a natural and understandable response. You don't need to fight this part of yourself or dismiss it. Instead, you can acknowledge it. You can even thank it for its tireless efforts to keep you safe. Thank you, Vigilant One. I see you. I appreciate your dedication. And now, I am learning new ways to find safety, ways that allow for more ease, more connection, more rest. You don't have to carry the entire burden alone anymore. This internal dialogue, born of compassion and understanding, can gradually help that protective part to relax its grip, to trust that a new way is possible. As you cultivate this internal sense of safety, something remarkable begins to happen. Your capacity for genuine connection expands. When your nervous system is in a state of chronic defense, it is difficult to truly connect with others. You might be physically present, but internally your system is scanning for threat or withdrawing into itself. The world can feel like a dangerous place, and other people, even well-meaning ones, can inadvertently trigger your defenses. But as you begin to regulate, as you build a stronger foundation of internal safety, your nervous system naturally shifts into a state of social engagement. This is the state where you feel safe enough to open your heart, to make eye contact, to truly listen and be heard, to share vulnerability, to experience the profound nourishment of reciprocal relationship. This doesn't mean you become naive or lose your ability to discern genuine threat. On the contrary, a regulated nervous system is a more intelligent nervous system. It allows you to respond to real danger with clarity and appropriate action, rather than reacting from a place of chronic activation or shutdown. It allows you to build stronger, healthier boundaries, because your sense of self-worth and safety comes from within, rather than being dependent on external validation or the avoidance of conflict. Consider the metaphor of a garden. For a long time, your inner garden might have been overgrown with thorny bushes of fear and weeds of anxiety, perhaps with areas that were barren and neglected. The soil was depleted, the light scarce. Your vigilant guard was constantly warding off perceived pests. Now, with this knowing, you are becoming a gentle gardener. You are learning to tend the soil with care, to identify the nourishing plants of resilience and connection, to gently remove the invasive weeds of old patterns, not with harshness, but with understanding. You are learning to bring in more light, to water with self-compassion, to appreciate the delicate blossoms of peace and joy as they begin to unfurl. This garden is not built in a day. It is a continuous labor of love, a sacred space you are cultivating within yourself. The beauty of this journey is that it is inherently generative. As you heal, as you grow in self-understanding and self-compassion, you naturally extend that same compassion and understanding outwards to the world around you. You become a calmer presence, a more attuned listener, a more resilient participant in the collective human experience. Your ability to hold complexity, to navigate discomfort, to find peace amidst chaos, becomes a quiet gift, not just to yourself, but to those whose lives you touch. The world does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to be whole. And wholeness is not the absence of wounds, but the integration of all your parts, the strong, the vulnerable, the joyous, the grieving, the vigilant, the restful. It is the recognition that every experience, every challenge, every triumph, has contributed to the magnificent tapestry of who you are. This journey also involves befriending silence and stillness. In a world that constantly bombards us with noise and demands for our attention, true quiet can feel unsettling, even threatening, as we discussed. But stillness is not emptiness. It is spaciousness. It is the fertile ground where insight can bloom, where your own inner wisdom can speak. It is the place where you can truly listen to the subtle rhythms of your own being, beyond the chatter of the mind. Begin by inviting small moments of stillness into your day. Perhaps just 1 minute of closing your eyes and simply noticing your breath, or feeling the sensations in your body. Don't seek to achieve anything, just to be present. Over time, these small moments can expand, creating a sanctuary of calm within you that you can return to, no matter what external storms may rage. And what about those storms? Life will inevitably present challenges. This work does not promise to eliminate difficulty, but it promises to transform your relationship with it. Instead of being swept away, you will learn to ride the waves. Instead of being shattered, you will learn to bend without breaking. You will develop an inner compass that, even in the darkest fogs, can guide you back towards your own center, towards that deep knowing of your inherent resilience and capacity for peace. This compass is built on trust in your body's wisdom, trust in your own capacity to heal, trust in the unfolding process. For so long, perhaps, you have been taught to distrust your own instincts, to override your bodily signals, to push through pain. Now, the invitation is to reverse that trend, to listen deeply, to honor your limits, to respond to your needs with tenderness and respect. This is not selfish, it is foundational. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot offer genuine presence to others if you are internally fragmented and exhausted. This knowing is a living, breathing thing. It evolves with you. It deepens with each new experience, each moment of conscious awareness, each act of self-compassion. It is not a fixed destination, but a dynamic dance of discovery. You are constantly learning, constantly adapting, constantly integrating new facets of your extraordinary self. Allow yourself the grace of imperfection. There will be moments of frustration, moments of doubt, moments when you feel utterly lost. These are not roadblocks. They are signposts, inviting you to pause, to reassess, to offer yourself even more kindness. The journey is not about reaching a state of perpetual bliss, but about cultivating a deep, abiding sense of belonging within yourself, regardless of your external circumstances. It is about understanding that you are always enough. You are worthy of peace, worthy of joy, worthy of connection, exactly as you are in this very moment. Embrace the slowness. In a culture that prioritizes speed and immediate gratification, this work asks for patience. It asks for a willingness to linger in discomfort, to gently explore sensation, to allow insights to unfold organically. Healing is not a linear march. It is an organic growth, like a seed slowly pushing through the soil towards the light. You cannot rush a seed to sprout, nor can you rush the intricate process of your own nervous system repatterning. Trust the timing. Trust your innate wisdom. And remember, you are not alone in this journey. While the path of self-discovery is deeply personal, it is also profoundly human. Many before you have walked similar paths, and many walk alongside you now. There is a collective wisdom, a shared human experience of challenge and resilience that binds us all. Seeking support from trusted therapists, counselors, or even understanding friends and community can be an invaluable part of this process. Sharing your experience, even in small ways, can alleviate the burden of isolation and reinforce the truth that your struggles are valid, and your capacity for healing is real. The gift of this knowing is freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of constant vigilance, freedom from the prison of shutdown, freedom to respond to life with greater choice and agency. It is the freedom to truly embody your authentic self, to live with an open heart, and to engage with the world from a place of genuine presence and vitality. This freedom is not given. It is cultivated, day by day, breath by breath, choice by choice. As you continue to explore the nuances of your own nervous system, you will find that a new kind of strength emerges. It is not a strength that is rigid or unyielding, but one that is flexible, adaptable, and deeply rooted in self-awareness. It is the strength of vulnerability, the courage to feel, the resilience to recover. It is the quiet power of knowing yourself deeply and truly, and honoring that extraordinary truth in every aspect of your life. This knowing is not a destination. It is a continuous unfolding, a deepening spiral of understanding and integration. Each time you pause, each time you listen to your body, each time you offer yourself kindness, you are weaving another thread into the rich tapestry of your well-being. The quiet that settles in is no longer the quiet of desolation or threat, but a vibrant, living quiet, a quiet imbued with the hum of self-compassion, the gentle rhythm of regulation, and the boundless potential for growth. It is the quiet of coming home to yourself, fully and completely. And in that homecoming, a profound and lasting peace can finally take root. You are the architect of this inner sanctuary. You have all the tools within you and the innate wisdom to use them. The journey has been long, but the path ahead is illuminated by the light of your own dawning awareness. Keep walking, keep listening, keep loving yourself into being one gentle step at a time. The extraordinary truth of who you are is vast, beautiful, and endlessly unfolding. This is not merely the beginning of that knowing. It is the beginning of deeply living that knowing. And it is a life of profound richness and genuine peace that awaits you. This richness isn't found in the absence of challenges, but in the deepened capacity to meet them with an unwavering internal anchor. It's the ability to feel the full spectrum of human experience: joy, sorrow, excitement, grief, without losing your footing, without being swept away by the current. This journey cultivates a profound internal resilience, not a rigid armor, but a flexible strength that can bend and adapt, much like a tree that sways gracefully in a storm, rather than breaking. It is the strength of knowing your roots run deep, nourished by self-awareness and self-compassion. One of the most profound shifts you will notice is in your relationship with time and presence. When your nervous system is perpetually on high alert or in shutdown, the present moment can feel either dangerous or inaccessible. The mind often races to the future, planning for potential threats, or dwells in the past, replaying old hurts. But as you learn to regulate, as you practice bringing your attention back to your body, to your breath, to your senses, you begin to reclaim the present. You discover that this very moment, right here, right now, holds a surprising amount of safety and possibility. It's in the present moment that true connection happens, that creativity flows, that genuine rest is found. This re-engagement with the here and now is not about ignoring the past or neglecting the future, but about grounding yourself in the only moment you ever truly have, from which you can then wisely and compassionately engage with both. This cultivation of presence is often referred to as interoception, the ability to feel and interpret the internal sensations of your body. It's the quiet conversation between your mind and your body, where you notice the subtle shifts in your heart rate, the slight tension in your shoulders, the gentle rumble in your stomach. For a long time, these internal signals might have been overwhelming or threatening, leading you to disconnect. But by reestablishing this connection, gently and incrementally, you begin to receive invaluable information about your needs, your boundaries, and your authentic desires. Your body becomes a wise guide, a trusted confidant, rather than a source of anxiety or discomfort. Learning to listen to its whispers is a radical act of self-care and self-trust. And as you become more attuned to your own internal landscape, you also develop a heightened sense of attunement to others. This is the essence of co-regulation, the way our nervous systems subtly influence each other. When you are regulated, when you embody a sense of calm presence, you inadvertently offer that calm to those around you. You create a safer space for connection, for empathy, for mutual understanding. This doesn't mean you are responsible for regulating others, but rather that your own internal peace creates a ripple effect, fostering more harmonious and authentic relationships. It allows you to be truly present for the people you care about, to offer genuine support without being depleted, and to receive support without feeling overwhelmed. This journey is also about redefining safety itself. For so long, safety might have been equated with the absence of external threat or the vigilant control of your environment. But true safety, the kind that allows for deep healing and growth, is an internal experience. It's the felt sense that you are okay, even when circumstances are challenging. It's the capacity to self-soothe, to ground yourself, to find your center regardless of external chaos. This internal safety is not passive. It is an active cultivation of self-trust, self-compassion, and self-awareness. It's knowing that you have the resources within you to navigate whatever comes your way, not because you're immune to pain, but because you're resilient enough to process it and recover. The wisdom of your own nervous system, which we've explored, is a profound and ancient wisdom. It operates largely beneath the level of conscious thought, constantly scanning your environment for cues of safety or danger, a process sometimes called neuroception. For a long time, your neuroception might have been skewed towards danger, interpreting neutral or even positive cues as threats, due to past experiences. This was not a flaw, it was a protective adaptation. Now, through conscious practices of self-regulation and intentional engagement with resources, you are gently repatterning your neuroception, teaching your system to more accurately discern true safety. You are literally rewiring your brain and body, shifting from a default state of defense to a default state of connection and ease. This is a profound act of liberation. It is liberation from the constant burden of vigilance, from the heavy weight of unexpressed emotions, from the feeling of being perpetually out of sync with yourself and the world. It is the liberation to simply be, to inhabit your life with a sense of genuine agency and authentic presence. And as you continue to walk this path, you will find that the story of your past begins to shift. It doesn't disappear, nor does its impact diminish, but your relationship to it changes. Instead of being defined by your past experiences, you begin to integrate them, understanding how they shaped you, while simultaneously recognizing your capacity to choose a different present and future. Your experiences become sources of wisdom, empathy, and unique strength, rather than anchors of pain. You learn to hold your story with compassion, recognizing the incredible resilience it took to navigate your journey, and honoring the person you have become. This is not a journey that ever truly ends, for life is a continuous process of growth and evolution. But it is a journey that, over time, becomes increasingly effortless, more intuitive, and deeply rewarding. The practices that once felt like conscious effort gradually become ingrained habits, second nature. The quiet, compassionate knowing of yourself becomes your default state, your home base. So, continue to listen, continue to breathe, continue to feel, continue to offer yourself the same boundless compassion and understanding you would offer to someone you deeply cherish. For you are that cherished one. You are the extraordinary truth. And the gentle, unwavering light of that truth is now shining brightly, illuminating your path forward, inviting you into a life of profound peace, deep connection, and vibrant wholeness. This is your unfolding. This is your knowing, fully and beautifully realized. This knowing isn't a static destination, but a dynamic dance with existence. It's the quiet confidence that allows you to face uncertainty not with dread, but with curious openness. It's the wellspring of creativity that flows when you are no longer constrained by self-doubt, but liberated by self-acceptance. You find your voice, clear and resonant, not because you seek to impress, but because your truth naturally seeks expression. The world, in turn, reflects this inner harmony. Your interactions become more authentic, your connections more profound, rooted in a shared humanity rather than superficial roles. Challenges no longer derail you, but become opportunities for deeper understanding, for refining the intuitive wisdom that guides your every step. You learn to trust the ebb and flow, to surrender to the rhythm of life, knowing that even in moments of perceived darkness, the light of your truth remains steadfast, an internal compass guiding you home. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about living fully in each moment, with an open heart and a clear mind, embracing the messy, magnificent tapestry of being. The fear of not being enough, of not doing enough, slowly dissolves, replaced by a deep sense of belonging to yourself, to others, to the vast, interconnected web of life. You are not striving for a future self. You are embodying your authentic self, here and now, in all its radiant, evolving glory. This embodiment is a continuous act of love, a testament to the courage of your spirit, and a beacon for all who encounter your luminous presence. Your journey now is not one of seeking, but of revealing. It is the joyous act of peeling back layers, not to find something new, but to uncover what has always been there, whole and inviolable beneath the surface. It is the recognition that every breath is an opportunity to deepen this connection, every experience a chance to apply this wisdom. And as you walk this path, lighter and more alive, you naturally inspire others to seek their own truth, to find their own light. For the greatest gift you can offer the world is the full, uninhibited expression of who you truly are. Embrace this extraordinary existence, in all its simplicity and complexity, its joys and its sorrows, its quiet moments and its grand adventures. This is your life, unfolding in harmony with the deepest truths of the universe. This is your peace, found not in the absence of noise, but in the unwavering stillness within. This is your power, rooted not in control, but in authentic self-acceptance. And this is your love, boundless and unconditional, radiating from your very core, touching everything you are and everything you do. You are home,